Hi guys, Cody with Inflatable Office and Event Office. I wanted to show you how to create a data table as a dashboard. And more specifically, I'm going to show you how to recreate something we had in the legacy version of the software called Coming Events. So this is a list of leads with specific columns showing, and they happen to be the coming events. And that's what we would call in the dashboard a data table, the data being a list of leads, and then it's filtered. And so everyone can have different kinds of dashboards that they show here in Inflatable Office. This one is not one that we recreated by default, so I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to be adding it as a data table. So I'll do that after I do a couple preliminary things to get it set up. So first thing we're going to need to do in here is go to filters and create a filter on the data that we're going to show in this report. And my filter that I'm going to be creating is this reserved statuses one. I'm going to go ahead and delete this and then just recreate it here. So I'll call it reserved statuses. And I'm keeping this reserve statuses generic. I don't want to call it coming events because reserve statuses is a filter you could probably use in other applications of the software. It doesn't have to be just for one purpose. So status name, what I'm going to do here is find some statuses that we want to include in this report. And I could do, I'm doing it based off name. In our demo account here, we have the hold status, the confirmed status, and the contracted status as ones that show up in coming events. So I could say it contains the word hold. Now I could switch this to equals hold and match that exactly. So if you had like different statuses that had the word hold in there, you'd want to do that. But I don't need to do that. It doesn't have to match exactly. It just has to contain hold. And I know that I don't have a bunch of those statuses here. So that, so contains hold, and we don't want to and, we want or. The status is it contains contract. So I know that the status is called contracted. I could, and again, you could have different types of contracted statuses. I know a lot of our users customize their statuses and they have, contract out to the customer, contract signed, paid, things like that. But so I'm going to go contained, and I want to definitely make sure these are or right here because I want to match on any of these available statuses, not and statuses, because leads can only have one status. And I could also share this filter with other workers. I don't need to do that in this particular application, but you can share filters with workers if you have the workers module. Now what I'm going to do is create a report for the data table that I'm going to create. And so these are the columns that I'm reporting on. So I'm going to have the start date, the city and state. We labeled it location on this one because it was hard coded, but that's a city state, lead organization, and the balance due on the event. So I'm going to go up to reports, or sorry, the settings area, look for reports. And we also do have some information here in our help area. If you're not sure where to find reports, you can look for it here. This is the settings page for reports, and then more information in our help settings about reports. So I'm going to create a new report. And this is just general information that we're going to use for this little area. So I'm going to call it lead preview. In the column, we had start date. Now we have different types of start dates. You could start on the setup date if you wanted to. If you often want to set up events before they start and you want this report to come for coming events to show that instead when you're setting up, you could do setup date. I'm going to go lead start date because that's what the other report starts on. So I'm just going to match that. And then the next one was city state. Then we had, I can't remember, organization and balance due. Lead organization and contact organization are always going to be the same, but we're running a report on leads. You can do different types of reports on different sets of data. In this case, we're looking for lead data and due. Now I could apply my filter here, but again, this report could be used again in different areas. So maybe you have another table that you want to create and it's not the coming events, it's some information on quotes instead. So I'm not going to apply this filter. I'm going to keep it generic so that these two reports and this report and the filter can be used in other areas of the software. All right, and now let's create our data table. So I'm going to go to dashboards. I don't want this in the stats area. I want this in the overview area. So I'll go here. I will go to add data table. And I will call this coming events because that's the had before. I am going to look at the start date in terms of what events I show here. And I will generally want to just be looking at maybe the next 30 days so that if I have a ton of events throughout the year, that data table doesn't take forever to load. And the next 30 days usually is a good indication of what's going on here. The report I created was preview, I think, lead preview. And then the filter was reserved statuses. And I can create data table. And here's our coming events. Now I did just set it up so it only shows the next 30 days. So we only have one event showing, but you can now, because I didn't hard filter that in the beginning, I have it kind of flexible now to where I can do the next 12 months and it will show all of our events for the next year. And if I wanted my setting to change on that to where I'm always showing the next 12 months, I could click on settings here and I could change that here in this time period. All right, and again, if you guys have any questions, there is a documentation link under this guy right here. You can click help, or in the settings area, you can again search for the things and some of those topics will be here. If you click see more, that searches our help area here and you can submit and do different things there through our help, and that goes directly to us if it's a new question and we will answer it as quick as we can. All right, thanks.